truth. Tony Blair's own son turns on father as he ferociously tears apart ex-PM for failure. Tony Blair's own son has torn into the former Prime Minister's time in office, accusing his pledge to send half of all young people to university as a failure. In 1999, Tony Blair set out his plan for 50% of young people to go into higher education. The policy was a flagship target for the Labour administration, which placed education at the heart of their 1997 election campaign. Tony Blair wanted the UK to hit hard of all young people going to university by 2010. It took until 2019 for the target to met. Now, Blair, who runs a start-up business that looks to get more young people into apprenticeships, has attacked his father's policy. He said, "When you look at the 50% target, the belief was the more people go to university, the more people can access great opportunities, the more we would transition people fairly from full-time education to full-time employment. It has not worked out that way." Speaking that the 37-year-old said, "A pretty stark statistic is only 4% of those on free school meals make it to a Russell Group university. Lots of students end up in jobs deemed to be low-skilled that would not need a degree in the first place." Blair believes schools should place an equal emphasis on the benefits of apprenticeships and they do on going to universities. He also criticized school league tables for failing to give credence to apprenticeships. The league tables were first introduced by the Conservatives in 1993 but were enthusiastically embraced by Tony Blair as a measure of success when he took office. He said, "What we are saying to people is there are lots of people applying to university, a significant number are applying simply because they think it is the thing they are supposed to do and that is the route they have heard about through teachers or read about in the media. There is an incredible route through an apprenticeship to some of the world's best companies and some of the world's best tech startups." Tony Blair has recently thrown his support behind more apprenticeships. He has admitted the UK needs pathways to careers and prosperity as strong for those who don't go to university as for those who do. But despite his son's scathing criticisms of the 50% university target, the former Prime Minister still believes half of all young should be going into higher education. Writing in a paper last month for the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, he said the 50% target was still as controversial as it was correct and essential. He added it would be wrong to soft-pedal on the goal. In his Education 2030 plan published in coordination with ex-Education Minister Lord Adonis, he said even more pupils should go to university and more campuses opened. The government is to tear up the target for 50% of young people in England to attend university. Education Secretary Gavin Williamson said the target, set by former Prime Minister Tony Blair in 1999, has led to graduates competing for jobs that don't exist and youngsters who do not attend university being written off. In a speech on Thursday, Mr. Williamson promised the government would instead invest in German-style technical education, in order to equip young people to fill shortages in the job market. He said, "The tragedy is that for decades, we've forgotten about half of our education system." When Tony Blair uttered that 50% target for university attendance, he cast aside the other 50%. It was a target for the sake of a target, not with a purpose. Mr. Williamson blamed inbuilt snobbishness for successive governments and policy experts concentrating on university admissions because that is the route that we took ourselves. Our universities have an important role to play in our economy, society and culture, but there are limits to what we can achieve by sending ever more people into higher education, which is not always what the individual or the nation needs, he said. The ambition for more than half of young people in England to go to university was only achieved in September 2019, when official figures showed 50.2% admitted, with a majority of them women.